Hey, what's up, friends? Shawn Wilson here with the Liberty Bell, and it is time for 5 Minute Friday. It's that time, and we're here. Kind of crazy this morning trying to figure out all the technology things. Had a lot of issues with one of our streaming platforms. So we're over here right now, live on YouTube. Wasn't planning that, but that's where we're at. So no worries. We're going to do it this way. Hopefully, I won't say anything that YouTube will kick me off for, or kick this video off for, because right now it's the only place I got it. So we're just going to have to deal with it. Anyway, hope you're having a great week. It is Friday. The weekend is here. Time to kick back, relax, and enjoy a few days off. Hopefully the weather's going to be great where you're at. Where I'm at, it's beautiful. So anyway, so let's dive into this real quick. Jeff Landry has announced that he's running for Louisiana governor. He says we need better leadership in this state. Does it really matter? Does it really matter? Let me tell you a story a little bit. Let me go back a couple of years. 2012. In 2012, I was an active participant in the Ron Paul movement here in the state of Louisiana. We call it the Ron Paul Revolution. And in that, I was out campaigning and canvassing, and I was an elected delegate to the state constitution. And if you don't know what happened in Shreveport in 2012 at the Louisiana State Convention, you should really check it out. It was a Donnybrook. It was crazy. Anyway, Ron Paul won the state of Louisiana. And what I mean by that is out of, I think like 128 delegates, he had like 115 or 110 or something like that nature. The Ron Paul people owned the state convention, but the Republican Party, you think they're going to let that happen? Of course not. Roger Villery, the chairman of the Republican Party at the time, as everybody was on their way to Shreveport the night before, he decided he was going to change the rules. Yeah, that's right. Since you're allowed to do that, you're not. He got up there and said, well, here's how we're going to do it. Here's what we're going to do. We, as the people who ran the show, because we are the elected delegates, said, we're not going to put up with that. What ensued was absolute chaos, and it was beautiful. And I say all this to tell you, in the midst of that, I got on YouTube back in the day, and I publicly said that you should not vote for Mitt Romney for president because, honestly, he's not a conservative. He's not even a constitutionalist. Matter of fact, he's just your normal, common, everyday, run-of-the-mill Republican who nothing's going to change under. And I was right. But the Republican Party didn't like that. Matter of fact, they hated it. Matter of fact, they sent out a video of me, of that video, to all the Republicans in the state. One of the guys, I don't remember the guy's name anyway, the guy who did it had an email. He's talking about how dangerous it is that this guy's telling people not to vote for Mitt Romney because Barack Obama's so bad. He's so horrible. We've got to have the savior Mitt Romney come and deliver us from Barack Obama. Now, of course, we all know that Mitt Romney couldn't get a vote, and he didn't, and he lost epically. And the reason the Republican Party lost is because they didn't vote what the people want. Now, let's come back to today. Does it matter that Jeff Landry is running for governor? I'm going to tell you, no, it doesn't. Because Jeff Landry is just part of the Republican establishment. I know what you're going to say, but Shawn, he's fought for good things. He's done some good things. He's done a few. I think he's done something. Really? Jeff Landry's the Attorney General of the state of Louisiana, had every opportunity to combat Governor John Bel Edwards' coronavirus lockdowns. And what did he do? He did nothing. Jeff Landry had every opportunity to clean up the voter rolls, to work with Kyle Ardoin, to deal with the issues of election fraud in our state, YouTube, in our state. I'm not talking about the other election that we had a couple of years ago. And what did he do? He's done nothing. Matter of fact, I was part of a team who exposed election fraud in Amite, Louisiana. We went to his office and they were not interested. That is Jeff Landry. Jeff Landry is not interested in constitutionalism. Jeff Landry is not interested in a Republican form of government. And I don't mean that as the Republican Party. I mean, we are a constitutional republic. He's not interested in that. Jeff Landry is interested in power. He is interested in running the show in Louisiana. He's interested in being able to say, I am governor of the great state of Louisiana. Great. That's fine. If you want to do that, cool. Awesome. What does it matter though? My friends, if you're Republicans, Show me where Republicans have done anything in the state, and I mean the leadership of the Republican Party in the state of Louisiana has done anything to make your life better. They haven't. No, there's a few things. Oh, you got a few lower taxes. It was Republicans who controlled the House and the Senate in this state during the lockdowns of the coronavirus. And after we figured out that this wasn't going to be as bad as we thought it was, what did they do? They did nothing. Clay Scheck did nothing. Why? Because they're not interested. Let me just be 100% clear with you. There is no difference in the Republican Party leadership in the state of Louisiana than there is in the Republican Party leadership over the whole country. They're one and the same. They're all on the same team. It's the good old boy network. It doesn't change. Louisiana isn't run by good conservative constitutionalist Republican or Democrat. They're run by power-hungry, egotistical maniacs who just want your money. Did you know, most people don't know this, that the Republican Party and the Democrat Party are not like political institutions? They're private businesses. When you give money to the Republican Party, it's like giving it to Walmart for nothing. You get nothing in return. What have you gotten from the Republican Party? People say, well, what am I going to do? Who am I going to go vote for? Maybe, just maybe, if we started actually demanding that we have good candidates that aren't Republican or aren't Democrat. Why is it that every election cycle, even though there are, look, Rufus King is running for Congress in Louisiana as a libertarian. Brian Beltsar is running for Congress. I'm not even sure if he's a Republican. I don't know what his political affiliation is. I don't even think it says on his website. Why are we so convinced that Jeff Landry or Donald Trump or all these other guys are the guy who's going to get the job done when the guy who is supposed to have got the job done has never gotten the job done? Are we just, I mean, like, is this all we got? Is this where we're just like, we do, like, you've heard the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Okay, Republicans, hear me out here. Just hear me out. You voted for George W. Bush twice. What did you get? War, economic desolation. He printed money like he was like a crazy man. It didn't change. It didn't change under Obama. Granted, the Democrats are in the same boat that we are in, right? And I don't really identify as a Republican, but I tend to vote more local on that issue. But okay, I voted for Donald Trump. Why? Because Donald Trump in 2020 earned my vote. He actually did what he said he was going to do. My pocketbook was expanding. Like taxes were going down, things were coming into the country. Like it was actually pretty decent. I'm not saying that Donald Trump was the savior of America. He certainly isn't. But Jeff Landry, that's all we got? We're so hyped up about Jeff Landry? The guy is he's running a political machine that's no different than what Joe Biden has run, Barack Obama has run. It's just on a more local level. If you think for 5 seconds that much is going to change in Louisiana because Jeff Landry becomes governor, why didn't it change when Bobby Jindal was governor? Yeah, I hear the crickets because it's not going to change. Because the problem isn't really even Jeff Landry. I hear Jeff Landry's a pretty nice guy. I've met him once or twice. No big deal. It's the system, guys. The system is the problem. We keep thinking if we get a Republican in office, things are going to be great. And then Democrats are over here going, if we get a Democrat in office, things are going to be great. Except none of those guys are sitting down and having conversations about what it actually means to mean limited government, constitutional government. None of these guys are serious about liberty and freedom. I can tell you that. What they're serious about is going to whatever office they can get in and expanding their power base and expanding their wallet. You don't believe me? Just look. Look at the fees, and people are like, well, it's the president. Okay, fine. All right, fine. I'm fine. You want to spend $500,000 to bring Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama or Donald Trump, which I don't think Donald Trump does it, but George W. Bush or Bill Clinton or whoever to speak at a college. I mean, that's a ridiculous amount of money. And we're already giving him a lifetime guaranteed salary. I mean, look, why don't you just go back to the private sector and do your thing? Run your ranch, George, and keep your mouth shut. Nobody cares. You're not president anymore. Barack Obama, go back to Chicago and clean that up. Do you know like 47 people were shot like 65 feet from your house? And you're over here telling us about climate change? Shut your mouth there, bro. We don't care what you have to say. You're not president anymore. But here we are in Louisiana, super excited about the change in leadership. I'm telling you guys, the people change, the leadership doesn't. It doesn't. Roger Villery, the guy who was running the Republican Party, when I was there in Shreveport, we had an opportunity to change Louisiana, like we legit did. Louisiana sent us to the state delegation to nominate Ron Paul as president. And granted, people are like, well, he wasn't going to win anyway. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is we could have legit changed things. People were running for office from that group. And you guys in the Republican Party killed it. Why? Because it's not about liberty or freedom. Look, if you want to debate different topics within the movement, totally cool. We do that all the time here. We're getting ready to do that on a bunch of issues. But you want to sit here and talk about how everything's going to get better because Jeff Landry or Billy Nungesser is going to be governor? It's not going to change. I promise you. Look, if I'm wrong, here's the deal. If I'm wrong, I will come back to this video 4 years from now or 5 years or whatever, and we will have this conversation. And I will totally admit that I was wrong. But let me just tell you, has Louisiana changed much from when Kathleen Blanco, who was governor during the Hurricane Katrina, who next had Bobby Jindal, we now have John Bell Edwards. Do you think it's going to change? Has Louisiana politics changed since Huey P. Long? Not really. There's one guy, and this is going to piss some of you off. It's going to piss you off big. There's one guy who actually did a crap ton of actually really good things, and they really said he was a horrible governor, and now everybody thinks he's a really bad guy. And that was, well, I don't even know if I should say his name. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Because everyone's going to look at him and go, well, he has this behind his name. But he did some really good things, and he actually did change things and actually got a little better for the people of Louisiana. Because here's what's going to happen. Mark my words. Jeff Landry is going to run for governor. He's probably going to win. And he's going to be governor for probably two terms. And then guess what Jeff Landry is going to do? He's going to run for president. How do I know that? Because you can see it all over him. He's a power-hungry dude who wants to be president. He doesn't care about the governorship. That's just the next step on the ladder, friends, is governor. And you know what? He might run. He'll run for president. Everyone will laud him as this great conservative. He's not. And then we'll have the same crap over and over and over again. Why? Because we keep doing the same thing. It's the same thing over and over again. So you tell me, am I excited that Jeff Landry's running for governor? I could care less. You know what I'd really like to see? And I'm just going to name drop because he just walked in the office and he could hear me talking about him. Is I'd much rather our friend Anthony Bridges run for governor. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see some guy that you've never heard of, right? You don't even know what party he's a part of. He doesn't even tell you. He just presents the ideas, sets down his agenda, and says, here's what I think. What do you think? I would love that. I could name a bunch of people I'd love to see run for governor that you don't know who they are. Who would be better governors than the last 6 we've had in this state? I'd like to see that for president. And at the end of the day, everyone's going to get mad at me because I'm saying, because this is what it's going to be interpreted as. Well, you're not going to vote for Jeff Landry? I don't know. If there's a better candidate on the ballot, probably not. I don't even know if I'm going to vote for him because honestly, sometimes morally, I don't know if I can vote for these guys anymore. But Shawn, they stopped abortion. No, they didn't. Jeff Landry didn't. No, he certainly did not. He did not. That was Gene Mills and some of these other guys who have been fighting it for the last 30 years. And they didn't even stop it. Oh, you guys are getting me rolled up. That's a thing, apparently, rolled up. Anyway, Jeff Landry for governor. Please just tell me what do you think is going to change? What under John Bel Edwards? Look, I don't care if John Bel Edwards is a Democrat or Republican. I don't care. If you're a good candidate, run for office. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If a constitutionalist, because people are like, well, you can't have a constitution and be a Democrat. John F. Kennedy was. What do you think about that? George W. Bush was not, and he was a Republican. So you tell me, is voting over and over and over again for the same crap every election cycle done anything good for America? You know why Donald Trump won the White House? Because he was different. I mean, granted, he was a Republican, but he wasn't really. Let's be honest. He wasn't really. And look, I'm not saying everything Donald Trump did was great. The dude printed a crap ton of money and I know we like to blame Joe Biden for the inflation, but that goes directly to and should be firmly placed at the feet of Donald Trump. So while you're at the gas pumps complaining about the inflation rate with the guy next to you, and you all both have Trump 2024 stickers on your truck, it was Donald's fault. The whole coronavirus stimulus, that's him. That's all him, every bit of it. Now, granted, I get it. They keep printing like a bunch of crazy men, but and then let's even go back further. Not only did Donald Trump do it, but George W. Bush bailed out the banks, which should have went under, gone, later, see ya. George W. Bush did that. I mean, what do you want me to do, Republicans? Republicans are big government. And I get it. Here's going to be the argument in the comment section. Well, Shawn, you can't get elected. You can't get elected unless you have the Republican establishment behind you. That's the problem. That's the problem. You're not free, folks. You're not free. You are told which candidate to vote for, and anything after that is the quote-unquote wasted vote. Donald Trump is the first Republican that I voted for in a while on a national level. You want to know who I voted for governor last time? Anthony, should I tell him? He said, go ahead. John Bel Edwards. You want to know why? Because John Bel Edwards was a better candidate than the other guy. Who was the other guy? I can't even remember. The short dude. What was his name? We don't remember. Doesn't matter. For governor. Rispone. That's it. Ed Rispone. Or I don't remember what his first name is. Eddie Rispone. Do you know who would have been a better Republican candidate? That Ralph Abram. And you guys crapped the bed with that one. Why? Because he wasn't in with the Republican establishment. I mean, he kind of was, though. That's the funny thing. Anyway, doesn't matter. 5 Minute Friday. You got me fired up. I'm all screaming over here. 5 Minute Friday. We got to change the name on this, bro. Anyway, friends, it's Friday. Do I care about Landry? I don't. What I'd like to see is one of you run. One of you should run. Because here's the deal. I promise you, you could get a social media following. Come do an interview with us. We'll sit down and talk with you. If you're running for any office, and anywhere in the country, reach out to us. We want to interview. We want to hear your ideas. We want to talk. And here's the deal. If we like what you're talking about, you support constitutionalism and liberty and freedom. Look, we can differ on a few things. That's all part of life. Look, you should hear the debates me and Anthony have between these walls. They're awesome, right? If you have good ideas, get on our show. Let's talk about them. And let's promote the crap out of you. Because I and Anthony and all of us here at the Liberty Bell, we're sick of everyone doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. If we keep voting for the same leadership that is run by the Republican Party or by the Democrat Party, we're going to get the same results, which is less freedom, less money, more wars, more trash, less economic liberty, more debt, all of it. All of this is what you're getting. It's up to you. Hit us up. Comment here. Whatever. We'll figure it out. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Go to the website, thelibertybell.com. Get on our mailing list, our email list. We send out cool stuff throughout the, once a week, we send out an email, things you may have missed. We send out subscriber-only content. Anthony has this great thing called Entrepreneur Highlight, where we highlight local entrepreneurs. And if you're not local, hey, reach out to us. We'll still highlight you. We'd love to talk to you about their journey of entrepreneurship. It's pretty cool, honestly. We're getting ready to post one up here in just a little bit, send it out and all that good stuff. Hopefully next week our StreamYard will be fixed so you can have all the cool details and the ticker tape thing running. That's all I got for this week, guys. Have a great one. Streaming live right now on YouTube. Hopefully YouTube won't take it down because I talked about elections. But if they do, what can I do at this point? The regime runs the show. We're just the revolutionaries. Have a good one, friends. Talk to you soon.